So here we have an example. You see, we have taken two classes. Okay, in one class, we have simply taken the so this is a class box. Okay, this is a class box, and we have these variables inside box. We have these properties, that is width, height and depth of the box. Okay, so these are the variables, instance variables of class box. Okay, let me just tell you one thing, that just as in the previous examples, in the previous classes examples, you have seen, you have used functions, user defined functions, main function inside the class. Then you might have probably seen that, you know, it is possible to have only functions in your class without variables. It is also possible to have only variables in your class without functions. And also at the same time, it is possible to have both variables and functions inside your class. Okay, you can have a class only with variables, just as in this case you can see, yes, we don't have any methods for this class, we have only variables, instance variables that will, you know, describe, you know, that describes the box object, that is width, height, depth. So these are all, you know, in variables of uh, an object of type box. Okay, then followed by this class we have another class which is box demo. Okay, so in this class you see we have the main function. Okay, so we need to have one main function. Okay, we need to have one class that will contain the main function. Okay, because we need to have a starting point of program execution. Fine, so this class was just taken to describe the box class. Okay, to the box object, and this class here we will, you know, this will contain the main function. Okay, so the entire, you know, program execution begin from this particular class consisting of the main function. So inside main function, you see what do we have. First you see, because you see, you are to use this particular variables. Okay, you are to declare, assign values to these variables, you are to use these variables in your program, and these variables belongs to some other class. Okay, so in case you are accessing variables that belongs to some other class, or you are accessing methods that belongs to some other class, okay, from a different class, then you have to create an object for that class. Just in simple terms, what I want to say is, you have seen programs earlier. Okay, just let me show you some programs. Don't be confused. Okay, wait, just let me show you some programs. Okay, you see, this is one program. Okay, here we had only one class. Inside the class we had two functions. Yes, one was the main function and the other was the sum function. So these are the methods of the class. Okay, the methods that I was talking about just now, these are the methods of a class. Okay, methods are nothing but these are simple functions, okay, that will perform some task. Now we have already used methods in our program. Now you see, in all the previous examples we had used only one class, and inside that class we had many methods. Okay, one was the main method. Okay, so this is by default, we need to have this to start with the program execution and to end the program here. Followed by this we have another sum method which will do the addition part. Okay, now you see, what did I do here? If you all remember, I declared and initialized two arrays, then I made a function call. So if you look at this statement, it is a simple function call that you have used in C language also. Yes, so this is a function calling statement. So when you directly call this function, okay, with the name sum, that particular function will be called, and whatever is in there will get executed. So did we have to create any object for this? No. Why no? Firstly, because these are the methods belonging to the same class. So whenever you are accessing methods, okay, whenever you have multiple methods inside one single class, and you want to call a function from some other function, okay, you can do directly. You can call that function directly without needing to have, without creating any object, okay, because ultimately all these belongs to the same class, okay. And since we don't have to create objects, that is why we use the keyword static. I have already explained this. I think Kritika once queried about one, a similar one such situation where I explained, okay, where I showed you one example where I took two classes. Yes. So this is one example where I have only a single class and I have two different functions inside the same class, and I will be calling this function using the main function directly without needing to create any object, because this can be done directly provided, since we are not creating objects, okay, that is why we have to make use of the static keyword, otherwise it will display an error. Fine. Now here you see I am using two separate classes. So when you are using separate classes, okay, in such cases, to be able to access the members of another class from a different class, okay, I will be accessing these three variables of box class from the box demo class, okay, the main function. So inside this main function I have all entire logic written, okay, everything that I'll be actually computing the value of volume of the box, okay, I will be computing the volume of the box. So for that, to compute the volume, what do we need? Width into height into depth, because a box is a cuboid. Yes, for cuboid we need width, height and depth, okay. Now to calculate this, volume, you need access to these three variables, yes or no, and these three variables are from the box class, okay. So for that, what we will do is we have to first access these variables from the box demo class, from the main function of the box demo class, okay. Now to access these variables here from this class, what do we have to do? We will have to create objects, okay, we will have to create objects. Is it clear till here? At least yahan tak clear hua? When you are using two separate classes and you want to access the members of one class from another class, you cannot do that without the help of an object. You have to create an object of that class to be able to access the members of that particular class. Communication between two classes takes place only via objects. Please remember this. Here, I want to communicate with box class to get access to the width, height and depth variables, okay, from the box demo class. Okay, so here the box demo class needs to communicate with the box class. And how will the communication take place? Classes do not directly communicate. It is using the objects, okay, via objects, classes will communicate. So here inside the box demo class, I will be creating an object of this class, and using that particular object of this class, I will be accessing the variables of this class. यहाँ तक समझ आया what I have said? Any confusion till here?
Ma'am, my box is new object of ma'am box demo.
এইবিলাক দেখো নাই. Yes, my box is the object. এইবিলাক don't look at the code. I have not explained the lines. I'm simply saying, and whatever I explained just now, is it clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Rest?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Just remember one thing, whenever you are using methods of the same class, okay, suppose you have three different methods in the same class, and then you want to call a function, you want to call a, say you have three different methods, method 1, 2 and 3 inside the same class, and you want to call methods 2 and 3 from method 1, okay, you can call them directly without creating objects. And for that we use the keyword static that you have already seen. Whenever you are using two separate classes, your program might consist of any number of classes, okay. So whenever you are having different classes in your program, and to access the members of one class from another class, okay, you have to create objects of that particular class inside the other class from where you want to call that class of members. Okay, since now I will be calling this because inside my box demo I have my main function, and yours this is this. So when this program will be executed, this will be the starting point. Okay, this will be the starting point. From here your program will start executing. So when your program will start executing, okay, so you need to access these members inside this class. So to be able to do that, you have to declare object of this class inside here so that you can access the members using that object. Okay, so I'll now explain what I have what is written in here. See, box, my box equal to new box. So you know you have declared objects of scanner class already, so you know the syntax of declaring objects. So here it is the same way we declare objects. Okay, be it for any predefined class, okay, or be it for your own class, it is the same way we create objects. So this is your box class because I am creating object of this class because I have to use the members of this class. So I'll be creating objects for this class. So this is the box class followed by the object. Okay, so my box is the object of this particular class equal to new, followed by box constructor. So new is the operator which will lead to the creation of this particular object. Okay, it will create, it will allocate block of memory for this particular object. Okay, followed by a constructor. So constructor will initialize this object. Okay, we will anyways learn about constructors in the next topic. So the next topic is all about constructors, so that then you will be clear about it. Then you see here what I'll do is I will now assign values to my box's instance variables. Okay, so to be able to calculate the volume, you need to have some values first. Okay, so here at the beginning, in the program itself, we will be initializing the values. Okay, so width, height, and depth need to be initialized some values. See, if you can see, I cannot access width, height, depth directly. For that, I have created a box object, my box. Okay, so this is how this, look at this statement carefully. This is how we will be accessing the members of this class. So my box dot width. Okay, so this is the syntax. This is how you access members. So these are variables, so you can do it, you know, dot followed by the variable. If it's a method, you will simply write object dot the method name. Okay, so the way is same. Okay, so my box dot width will access this particular variable and will assign the value 10 to width. My box dot height, so we have 20 assigned to height, and then we have 15 assigned to depth. So this is how we will be assigning values one by one to these three variables. Okay, and to access these variables, we have created an object for this particular class box. Okay, then it is simple. Since you now have all the values, you can simply use the formula. Okay, my box dot width into my box dot height into my box dot depth. Okay, whatever will be the volume, that will get displayed automatically. Okay, so here the output will be 3000 as per the input given. So this is all about this program. So yahan tak, is it clear? I hope it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
clear. Okay, next we will learn about object declaration. Okay, now we have already seen how we declare objects. You have also declared objects for predefined classes like scanner class. Yes, but however, we will get we will try to get deeper into the object declaration part. You see, declaring objects is a two-step process. Okay, so although you have seen this particular statement here, box, my box equal to new box. So as you all know that new is the operator that will create this my box object of class box. Okay, but however, there are actually two steps. Okay, the first is, you see, you must declare a variable of the class type. So as you all know, in the previous class we discussed that the basic relation between class and object is that class can be thought of as a new data type and object can be thought of as a variable of that data type. Okay, so here just as we write int a, so int is a data type and a is a variable of type. integer. Yes. Similarly, class can be thought of as a new data type, and an object belonging to that class can be thought of as a variable of type class. So here, if this particular statement, you see box, my box, just simply look at these two words. So the box is the class. Yes. So this is one data type, and this is a variable of this type. So you can break this entire statement into two parts. Okay. You can simply write it this way. I'm showing you here. I think it's already given below. Just let me check. Yeah, it's already given here. I'll directly show it here, explain it here. You see, the previous statement, this box, my box equal to new box. This statement actually is a two-step process. Okay. First, you will be simply declaring a variable of this data type, just as we do for other ordinary variables. Yes, to be able to use any variable in your program, what do? You do variable declaration. Variable declaration means what? You declare a variable of one particular data type that you wish to have in your program. So here, my box for this particular statement now, okay, my box is not, my box is not an object now. Okay, my box is simply a variable. Declare reference to object. So this is not an object. This is simply a variable. Okay, this is simply a variable of type box. Box is a class, and my box is simply a variable. And what this variable will do, this variable will be simply pointing towards a memory location or a memory block. Okay, and that memory block will be the object. I repeat what I said. This my box is simply a variable just like any other ordinary variable. And what this my box will contain, it will simply contain the address. Okay, it will simply contain the starting address or the base address. Okay, starting address or the base address of a block of memory that will be assigned to a particular object. For example, in this case, you see box, my box. So when this statement will be executed, a simple variable, a simple, space will be allocated for my box. So this is a variable. Okay, and it will contain the address. Okay, so this is actually known as object reference variable. Please be clear, this is not any ordinary variable. It will, this is actually one kind of a pointer, you can say. So what does a pointer variable do? A pointer variable points to a particular memory location. A pointer variable holds the address of a particular memory location. Yes. So this is also one kind of a pointer variable. So this particular variable that you have created here, my box, this is not the object. This is actually a variable which will be holding the address of the memory location that will be used to represent the object. Okay, so this will be pointing towards an object actually. This is not the object, but this will be pointing towards an object. Okay, next statement, my box equal to new box constructor. You see, now here, this new operator will, what is the purpose of the new operator? The new operator is used to dynamically allocate memory. Dynamic memory allocation means to allocate memory in runtime. Okay, so this will dynamically allocate memory, okay, for the box object. Okay, so for the box class object. So this is the class. So for this box class, okay, one memory will be allocated for the object of this box class. So this, if you can see, this is the box object. Okay, so this is the box class object, and for this box class object, one memory will be allocated by whom? By the new operator. And if you can see, as I said, class is just a description of objects, and object is implementation of the class. So if you go back to the program, what did you see here? We had the box class. Yes, we had only three variables. Instance variables means width, height, and depth. Now, if you were to implement this, you have to create an object. So likewise, we have created an object, and for each of these three variables, we have three different space assigned to this particular object. So this width, height, and depth will consist of values, okay, for this particular object created. So this is actually the implementation of the object. So the class that you use, the class box, that is just a description. Okay, it will simply define what your object will contain, and this is your real object. Your real object will internally look like this. So the object will consist of some spaces to hold values for the width, height, and depth. Okay, so just as you have entered value for width as 10, height as 15, depth as 13 in the program that we saw. So all these values, when the value will be assigned to each of these, these values will get stored in the spaces provided here. Okay, so now what I was saying is, here you have simply created a variable of type box, yes, and this variable will simply, so leave this variable now. Okay, so this is an object reference variable, so this will refer to an object. Okay, this will point to an object. So we don't have the object now, we have not created the object yet. Who will do the creation? The new operator will do the creation. So the new operator will create, okay, a box object using this constructor. Okay, so using this, with the help of this constructor, the the new operator will create an object of type box. Okay, so this is the box object that has been created using the constructor and new operator. Then what is this? My box equal to new box. So after you create the box object, okay, so this is the box object, and if you see, this is a memory location and these are the cells. And as you know, every cell has got a memory address. Yes, every cell in memory has got a particular address. What will this do after creating the box object? Okay, the new operator will assign the base address or the start address of that particular object to the my box variable. So this is the starting address, okay, because your object starts from here. So this is the starting address of your block. This is a block. It might consist of any number of cells, and each cell has got one address associated with it. Yes or no? So now, to be able to point, because you need a connection between these two. This is your actual object. You have created this object using the new operator with the help of constructor. You have created this object, and you also have a variable here. Now you have to connect this two. How will you connect? This will be again done by the new operator. So what does the new operator? The new operator actually does two things. Besides, creating the object, it will also assign the base address of that block, okay, of the object, base address, that is the first address or the starting address of the block, to the variable. So now that the starting address has been assigned to my box, and likewise, if you can see this diagram, my box now finally points at the object that has been created. So this is actually the procedure, these are the steps involved in an object creation. Okay, so till now we have seen only one single statement, box, my box equal to new box. So actually the my box that you created in this statement was not actually the object. It was simply an object reference variable. It was simply a variable that was used to point to the object of your class. Okay, so whatever object will be created using the new operator and the box constructor. Constructor means it will construct the object using the new operator. Okay, after you create the object, the box, my box variable will simply be made to point to the object that has been created for class box. Is it clear till here?
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, ask.
Ma'am,